Hello my friends and welcome to a Brotato Nightmare Mode guide. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to show you how to win with the new character, the Wounded. So the update just came out today and Nightmare Mode unlocks the Wounded if you win on the new high difficulty. This challenge mode character is basically the well-rounded. You start with extra speed and harvesting, but you die if you take any damage. You die in one hit. You do get 1 hit's worth of grace, because you start with a tardigrade, but after that, you die no matter how much damage you take. The way to win with the Wounded, of course, is therefore to deal overwhelming damage output. So the weapon that we're going to go with, to start with, is the submachine gun, and then we're going to be doing a gun build. This way we're going to kill enemies quickly and far away from ourselves by maximizing our damage output. And that's how we're going to keep us safe so that we don't die in a single hit. Now, I will say that the Wounded is intended as a challenge mode character for players who have played a lot of this game. If you're struggling with this character, don't worry. It is intended to be extremely difficult, and it will probably take several tries to beat. But I'm going to show you the way to make it work as easily as possible. I'm going to reroll here, and I will take 1 ranged damage. I'm even taking that over 5 harvesting, which obviously is good, but we need as much damage output as we can possibly get early on. We'll buy another submachine gun, and then we'll lock a gentle alien and a scar, both really strong economy items, and then I'm going to roll here and buy another submachine gun. I'm also going to buy a laser gun. So our weapon set is usually going to be something like 4 submachine guns and 2 either laser guns or revolvers. These 2 weapons are to help us kill really high health, super dangerous enemies, while the submachine guns clear everything else. Obviously, you're going to have to adapt your weapon set to what actually shows up in the shop, but it's usually going to look something along those lines. In the early stages, this character shouldn't have too many difficulties. You're just killing everything as soon as it spawns, but we need to make sure that that keeps happening. So again, I'm rolling for damage here. Okay, +2 range damage is huge. We're very happy with that. I could take 5 harvesting, but I got an 8% damage upgrade, so I'm just going to take the high level upgrades when they appear, and then I'm going to roll for a weapon. We'll buy a submachine gun. I'll roll again. And I will lock a revolver and a laser gun. I'm happy to just level these weapons evenly. Now, this does put us at risk of eventually not being able to level a weapon without selling one. When you have 3 different weapons, that can often be the case. But that's not something that I'm worried about right now. This character just really needs to be as strong as possible, as early as possible, because otherwise you lose. So, making sure that we can get as many weapon levels as possible early on from the weapons that we're looking for is the most important thing. You'll also notice probably that I am playing with environmental projectiles on every single wave. In Nightmare Mode, there are environmental projectiles and darkness waves, which appear every few waves, but there's an accessibility setting to turn off the environmental projectiles or have them appear on every wave. I've turned them on to every wave because I want to not just not accidentally get a really easy pattern and have an easy run for this guide. So I'm making sure that we get the most difficult possible experience every wave so that you can see that the build works. Here, I'm going to buy the 2 economy items first, and then I will leave the laser gun locked, and I will do 1 reroll here. I'll definitely buy treasure map. Insanity is pretty bad with submachine guns, because they only have 1.5x crit damage, but good with our other weapons. I think it is worth locking, and since I'm locking these other 3 items, I'm going to lock Corrupted Shard and ban it. One important thing with the Wounded, especially on Crash Zone, which is, I'm playing on that just because it's what most players are going to start on, I think, is I think you should avoid Curse as much as possible, because you need to kill enemies as soon as they spawn. So while you do get extra, and that, by the way, is why we had the laser gun. Killing those horned flies with the laser gun is really helpful, prevent too many projectiles spawning. Having cursed enemies makes it a lot harder to kill enemies as soon as they spawn, and can put you in a lot of danger. You can see we're leaving a lot of materials on the ground, so I will need to fix that. I'm going to take 10% attack speed here. It's very good with our non-SMG weapons. And also, submachine guns have a bug where the first point of attack speed, which you would think would give you 1% extra DPS, gives you something like 20% extra DPS, because there's an animation issue with the weapons that buying 1 point of attack speed fixes. I'll buy treasure map. I almost didn't pick up enough materials to buy these 3 items, by the way, which is pretty funny. And I'll level my laser gun, and we'll buy the insanity, and then we're going to ban the corrupted shard, getting a free reroll here. And then I'm going to ban defective steroids. I will lock Gummy Berserker. Range is very good on this character. Attack speed is good on this character. And losing armor doesn't matter at all. And then I'm going to reroll here. We'll buy 1 more laser gun. It'll mean combining my submachine guns, but that's okay. And we'll lock a coupon as well. The key to this character, of course, is just killing enemies as quickly as possible as soon as they spawn. And so we just want as much damage output as we can get. And we want range because a normal character, you don't really need range. And in fact, you should typically avoid buying it because it's a fairly weak stat for most characters. Because you can just buy defenses instead. And the enemies will come to you, you'll kill them, and then you won't die. On this character, you have to buy range because you need to kill enemies far away so that you don't take hits from them. I'm going to take 8% damage here, and then I will re-roll. And I could take 9% move speed. We do still have 5 already, though, so let's just take some attack speed. Again, just maximizing my damage output. We'll buy the coupon first. We'll combine, buy a laser gun, buy a Gummy Berserker, and roll. All right, Sharp Bullet is incredible. Of course, laser guns already have piercing shots, but our other weapons don't. And so adding piercing damage is going to be really important, especially for Wave 9. So we're very happy to have that. Also, the materials worked out perfectly where I can buy a laser gun here. Now, the question is, do I want to have 2 level 2 laser guns and 2 level 2 submachine guns, or level 3 laser gun? And I think I'm just going to level my laser to level 3. I don't want to combine too many of my submachine guns, because then we might not have enough. Now, Wave 6 Crash Zone is really difficult, because there are the summoners, and they produce a lot of enemies, and then those enemies can produce a lot of projectiles, which can put you in a ton of danger. And there are the eggs that spawn at the beginning. So the goal is to immediately kill one of the eggs when it spawns, and then make sure that you kill the summons as soon as they pop out of the summoners. These are really, really dangerous enemies, of course, because they normally show up on wave 14, and here they are on wave 6. So on Nightmare mode, you get a lot of extremely scary enemies, many waves early. Small magazine, an amazing find as well. And it might look like we're getting good chop luck here. I think, you know, we've run a little bit over average, honestly. But part of that is because the Wounded has so many items removed from the shop. Max HP items, armor items, defense items, and so on all don't show up. And so you're more likely to find economy and damage items. I could just take 9 movement speed here. I guess that's fine. I don't mind a move speed upgrade. I'll take the propeller hat. I'm going to ban book, because we don't have a use for that. Do I want the alien tongue? Material pickup is pretty important on this character, but alien tongue is a somewhat inefficient way to get it, because we'd much rather have baby gecko. That being said, the knockback is also okay, though I have reduced my knockback by 3. So I think I'm just going to ban alien tongue here, and we'll just go to the next shop. And then we'll pick up Scar. We'll upgrade our revolver, and then I'm going to ban these 2 items, which again we have no use for, and this gets me a free reroll by banning the white flag. And we finally got a level on our submachine gun, so I'm going to buy that. We'll lock the feather. I'm going to save my last ban for a free reroll, and then I'll roll here. Okay, nice. So we got a laser and a submachine gun upgrade as well. Perfect. Feather, obviously, we're buying for the range damage, and we don't care about losing the XP gain. Levels are actually quite a bit worse on this character, because you don't benefit from the the HP that you normally get when you level up doesn't matter. And you also can still get offered dead stats in your level up screen, so armor, HP, regen, lifesteal can still show up in the level up screen, even though items that provide those are banned. So levels are less important to this character than they are to other characters, though obviously still a great source of stats. Gonna kill that loot alien, that's great. You can also see that the dangerous, enhanced versions of enemies are starting to appear as well, and we need to be careful of those. I'm going to take the tentacle here just because 16 for 3 crit chance is fine. Obviously, the healing doesn't matter, but the crit chance is good. And then I'm going to reroll this. One stat that's worth mentioning on this character is dodge. Dodge is very bad on the wounded. You buy it at an extremely inefficient rate, because dodge is just a multiplier of your maximum health, and when your maximum health is 1, dodge is going to be very poor as an expenditure. That sounds counterintuitive, because obviously this character wants to avoid damage, so you'd think you want to buy dodge, but it's significantly less impactful to buy dodge on this character than on literally any other character in the game. I'm gonna combine the submachine gun here and buy another one. And wave 8, I'm pretty confident that we can kill all the loot aliens, so I'll buy the lure now. And then I guess I'm going to keep leveling my weapons and leave the feather locked, and then I will roll here. Sure, we'll keep leveling our weapons again, and we'll go straight to wave 8 here. The leveled laser guns are really nice this wave, because this wave is all about a few really high health enemies, and so having laser guns makes that easier to deal with. And this is why we want a mix of SMGs and lasers or revolvers, because those have... The submachine guns can clear out all the small enemies, and the slower firing but higher total DPS weapons are good at killing the high health enemies. And especially good at clearing elites, which are obviously very dangerous for this character, and something that we need to kill very, very quickly. I will have trouble picking up materials on wave 8, though Alien Tongue would not have made a difference here, so I'm still happy to have banned that. Claw Tree, we don't care about losing max HP, we'll take 3% crit chance. I'm gonna recycle Scared Sausage. I guess for 13, I'll take it. Maybe we get something that goes with it. Bone Dice, of course, is good, there's no downside to it, and we'll take the luck here. Then I'm going to take 2 more flat range damage. By far the most important damage stat for us is flat range damage. Alright, well, capping our max HP with the handcuffs could not matter less, and we get 8 range damage here, so that's great. I will buy all of these and do a reroll. Lock a revolver. 1 blunderbuss, I don't mind having either, because this is very good at killing elites and bosses, so I will pick up 1 blunderbuss to try to clear out elites and bosses. That's a totally reasonable find. I really don't like how all of those summoners were stacked on top of each other at the start of the wave, but fortunately, because we have piercing shots and piercing weapons, I was able to clear out all the summons immediately. Definitely always need to position near the summoners as you kill them, because it's so important not to let any of the goobers out onto the field. That just means way more stuff to dodge, and it makes it way, way harder. Also, don't do what I'm doing there, and play... You should always, on the projectile waves, which for this run is every wave, you should play on the side of the map where the projectiles aren't coming from, so I need to play near the top of the map here. Playing near the bottom means that they can spawn on top, basically on top of me, and give me very little chance to react to where they're coming from, so you want to make sure that you're standing near the side they don't come from. Alright, Loot Worm obviously helps us pick up a ton of materials, so that's great. I'll take 2 more range damage and 8% more damage. And then here, what stat do I need? So this is my level 15 level up. We're guaranteed a purple stat here. I could take 7 crit chance. I think I just want attack speed or percent damage. So I'm going to roll. I'll roll again, and we'll keep rolling. Keep on rolling a little bit more, and I'll take attack speed over percent damage when I was offered both. Alright, so I do have the Scared Sausage, so I could buy Ice Cube. It's not going to be amazing additional damage, but I think it is worth buying when we have Scared Sausage, and then I can also ban Lighthouse and get a reroll here. We'll take Bag. You should skip on items like Cyberball usually, unless you have a ton of luck on this character, because your weapons do wildly more damage than this, so you don't want to waste time on things that aren't just kill with gun. And then we'll roll here, and gonna re-roll all of this as well. A level 2 submachine gun, a level 3 laser gun. So now we're at the point where we are running into being unable to buy more weapons without selling or combining. But I will combine. We'll buy a submachine gun. I could lock an eye patch. I already have a sharp bullet, and we only have 15 crit chance after buying eye patch. It's very expensive as well. So I'm going to pass on that, and I'm going to pass on the laser gun. I really want to keep at least 3 submachine guns. I'll level my blunderbuss by a tree, and Sift's Relic, of course, is great. The armor's wasted, but picking up materials is difficult for this character, so that can help. Also, when you have Loot Worm, it pulls the materials to the Loot Worm, so you get the 10% extra materials more often. And it'll reset my blunderbuss more frequently as well. When the Loot Worm picks up a material, the blunderbuss still gets a reset. Another important thing to know about that interaction. Loot alien there. So I would say that this run is going quite well. I need to obviously make sure I don't take a hit, because then we lose. But outside of movement errors, the build is coming together quite well. Candy Bag is very dangerous on this character, and a lot worse than it is on other characters, because there are so many wasted stats. Normally, the best stat to get from Candy Bag is armor. We don't really care about getting dodge. We haven't really built harvesting, so only ranged damage, attack speed, and percent damage matter from the Candy Bag, because all the defensive stats don't matter at all. So do I even want it? It's really dangerous, because 2 elites is really scary. I think we're strong enough that I can buy it. I'll take the gambling token, and we'll build dodge when it shows up for really cheap like this. You know, dodge is very inefficient on this character, but if you get it for basically for free, you'll still take it. Take Sift's Relic, we'll take Blunderbuss. Also, we're a little more incentivized to build dodge, because Candy Bag will give us a few points in it. Great Chop here. I'm going to buy the Crystal, I think that, and the Mutation. I think that's going to help the most. We'll lock Silver Bullet and Scope. Losing attack speed is bad, but we need all the range damage we can get. And again, the range is actually good on this character. And Silver Bullet won't matter unless we roll a Candy Bag elite this wave, which hopefully we don't. We're not really set up to take an elite fight until we buy the Silver Bullet. There was the Gobbler, but we killed it immediately. Had to do some dangerous dodging there, because those guys, if you let them fire their projectiles, they go really far, really fast, and directly towards you. So you need to kill the enhanced shooters before they get their projectiles off. Obviously, the 5th Relic is doing really well for us right now. And We don't want that to reduce our range damage, of course. I'll take a baby elephant when it shows up for free. Pocket Factory will be very, very little damage. For 40 materials, I think it's worth taking just to get it out of the pool. And then here, I could take 10% attack speed. I could take 2 range damage. I'm about to reduce my attack speed, so I'm going to take the attack speed here. And then we'll take 12% damage. And then I'll buy Scope and Silver Bullet. I don't need Compass. I don't need Duct Tape. Let's roll again. And we'll take a range damage. Peacock is fine. Increasing enemy damage doesn't matter at all to this character, so that item has no downsides. I'm not going to buy the bowler hat. We don't really need more economy at this point, though I'll still buy a tree. I, again, just need more damage. Cauldron is going to be good because the additional damage... Although, picking up consumables is hard for this character. You actually have to run over them, so... And we don't need pickup radius. Normally, I would buy this item, but I think given that we have Sif's Relic, I'm not going to buy it. Pumpkin is great, of course, with our Sharp Bullet. And... Bait is very dangerous on this character, and I would usually avoid it. You can usually not take a hit. Okay, I walked into that attack. I need to be really careful here. That elite took me by surprise. I'll admit it. It was the crocodile elite, which charges at you right away, and I was not ready to sidestep it. So, bad play there. But... that's why we have the tardigrade, and of course why we picked up so much damage so we could kill the elite really fast, and my mistake didn't matter that much. Unless I walk into another attack, of course. When you have taken a hit, I recommend moving like this in really small patterns near the center of the map, because it just makes it easier to avoid taking more damage if you are just tapping the movement and just being very, very cognizant of where you're moving. All right, we actually have a lot of different weapons, so the spider is much better than it usually is, and it's already a pretty solid item typically. Again, 3 armor, usually every character would be thrilled. This character doesn't care. We'll take the attack speed, and then here I need range damage, I need percent damage, more attack speed is fine, more crit chance is also fine. Let's reroll. We'll take just 3 ranged damage. I'll buy the pumpkin, and I could change out something for a laser gun here. I don't think I want to. We definitely don't want ball and chain. We're using submachine guns. Do I want a fertilizer? I guess it's worth buying even this late. And then I'll roll. We'll buy a whistle and lens and dangerous bunny. Ugly Tooth is okay. It can help against elites. Now, usually this character wants to kill elites so fast that the Ugly Tooth doesn't matter. But I think it's fine to buy in this spot. And then I'll take a submachine gun. I'm not going to buy tractor. I already bought one. Well, I bought like 3 economy items this shop, but 1 late harvesting item. And we don't need more money, we need more damage. Do I want the level 1 laser gun for any reason? Not really. I will level up my blunderbuss. Clockwork Wasp and Blindfold. Blindfold is stats that we don't really care about, and does cost range, which does matter. I think I'm going to pass on both of those. Darkness waves can, of course, be really dangerous because you don't know where the enemies are coming from. Now, they have added a couple items that light up the darkness, but basically the way to play a darkness wave, if you're nervous about it, is to stand sort of down near the corner and then make sure that your light radius covers everything. And then you have the maximum amount of time to avoid incoming enemy fire. I think that... I heard the loot alien spawn. I think it was that crate that's just above me. Almost was not paying good enough attention and just got hit by that fast-moving projectile there. Stepping out a little bit near the end of the waves just to make sure I'm clearing the last few enemies on the field. All right. So Retrimation's Hoodie, losing 80 range is actually a severe downside for this character. It actually matters in a way it doesn't to basically anybody else. Now, 18% attack speed is quite solid, and it gives me an incentive to build dodge. So I will take it, but it's not as good as it might look. Gummy Berserker actually helps by helping to fix our range here, and then I'm going to take 3 more damage. We'll upgrade our Blunderbuss, we'll buy a submachine gun, we'll buy a treasure map, and then I will reroll. I'm going to buy the glasses here, because again, we want the additional range. I'll roll again. Propeller hat is... I think I'm going to pass on it. I'm looking for just more damage at this point, and luck no longer matters that much. Because I have Retrimation's Hoodie, do I want the Leather Vest? It's 12% attack speed, and the 6 dodge isn't completely irrelevant. I think it is okay to buy it here. And we'll take Head Injury, of course, as well. And then go to Wave 14. Wave 14, as always on Crash Zone, the key is to deal with the summoners. And there are now the enhanced summoners, which make more of the goobers, and they're even droolier than before. So, again, we need to kill them as soon as they spawn. And focus on not allowing any number of these enemies to survive, because then... Oops, I almost, like, chased that projectile down. Have to be very careful about your movement. And this wave is tough because you really have to pay attention to what is both happening near you and what's happening far away from you, because you need to make sure that you're killing the summons as they spawn, but also not letting yourself get hit by projectiles. So this is kind of a split attention wave that can be difficult. Do I want the knot? So I have pretty good weapons already. 15% damage is very good. The lack of, obviously, not getting the 15 HP makes this item a lot worse, but it's still a pretty efficient item. I'm going to recycle it here, not because I think it's not right to buy it, because I think it is, but just because, again, I'm recording this for YouTube, and I hate buying knot when I don't have to. I'm going to recycle Lucky Charm as well. I don't want to lose any damage, even for 30 luck at this point, though we will take the Lost Duck, and we'll take another treasure map. We'll buy 10% more attack speed. Leather Vest gives me more attack speed. Keep buying Gentle Aliens. I will buy a scope as well, and we've fixed our range a little bit. I don't need Baby Gecko anymore. I have a pumpkin, so I think... and a little more crit chance, so Eye Patch is a little more interesting, but I still don't think we need more piercing at this point. But we will buy the Insanity. More movement speed and more range is fine, but this is a very expensive item, so I'm going to pass on the wings here. And then we'll definitely lock Starfish. This is all upside for this character. And we'll lock Lure. And do I want a revolver? I, again, don't want to combine my submachine guns. I want to make sure we always have at least 3 of those. Let's actually lock the Lure. It doesn't seem to have locked the first time. So we'll pass on the revolver here. Because I know I'm going to get questions about this, I should expand a little bit on why it's bad to build dodge on this character in general, though Retrimation's Hoodie does change the math on that a bit. On a normal character, let's say you have 100 health. Building 50, 60 dodge probably means you can take 5, 10 more hits from an enemy before you die. On this character, it's usually going to mean you can take 1 or maximum 2 more hits if you build 50 or 60% dodge. So you're spending the same amount on dodge, but reducing the amount of attacks enemies need to do by vastly less. So it's just inefficient numerically. I'm going to recycle the Tyler here. I do have an Ice Cube, so I'll take another Scared Sausage out of a box. I'll take Reinforced Steel. We'll take Insanity and a reroll. I will build dodge now because, of course, we have Retrimation's Hoodie. And then Crit chance is still okay, but I still just want more flat range damage. We'll buy Starfish and Lure. We'll reroll. We'll buy another Starfish and level our submachine gun. Roll again. I could buy Snail. It does reduce enemy projectile speed as well, so I think it's worth picking up. And Bait, I'm again going to skip, because I think it's very dangerous on this character. Then we'll do some more rerolls, and some more rerolls. Pile of Books is 5 crit chance. Missile, we have a lot of attack speed and low % damage, so I guess I'll buy that, and then I'm not going to reroll for 41. How's my knockback? It's at -6, so I'm not going to buy the black belt. The levels, like the XP gain, is not that important at this point in the run. The knockback could be okay with submachine guns if we had a bunch of it. Getting up to like 10 knockback on SMGs is a viable strategy, but since we don't have any, I'm not going to start building it now, or we'd have to build a ton. Getting our damage high enough to where we can kill the horned flies before they make a ton of projectiles, really, really important. And again, we're just going to navigate around the attacks here. Staying on the side of the map where the projectiles are not coming from. So that I can do the bullet hell dodging here. 5 seconds left. I do still have a tardigrade, but obviously don't want to let that get broken. We'll recycle that because I have, Retromation's Hoodie. I don't want to lose dodge. Rip and Tear, actually mildly interesting for this character. It can do some splash damage, or for this build currently. We have 12 melee damage, so the Rip and Tear damage is actually not horrible. I'm going to take that. I'm going to try it out. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I'm curious. And then I'll take Leather Vest for attack speed. We'll take Insanity. And roll here. And I'm going to take 12% dodge, because once we've got a bunch of dodge, it's more efficient to build it. And with Retromation's Hoodie, we're happy to build it. But normally we wouldn't be picking this dodge, of course. We'll take the Missile Treasure Map. We've gotten a lot of bonus treasure map items. I'm going to take another one just because it's kind of fun. And then I'll buy a Gentle Alien. I'll buy Honey for 3 range damage. It does cost me 6 attack speed, but it's still worth picking up. And we'll buy the Banner as well. Range and attack speed, both great. Another Silver Bullet, an amazing find. And then we'll go to wave 17 here. And as always, I need to be very aware that at the start of waves, I could have an elite show up, because we have Candy Bag. This is another wave with the summoners, so once again, we need to be extremely on top of not letting those go everywhere. I'm gonna focus on kind of my corner of the map here. I need a lot more damage, basically, before we fight the bosses, or to find another tardigrade. If I find another tardigrade, which the Wounded has an increased chance of finding tardigrades, both because you're more likely to roll that item specifically, and because a lot of other items are removed from the item pool, so any items remaining you're more likely to find. So there's a good chance of finding another tardigrade. I'll take some movement speed. I'll take the Pearl. We have some % damage. We'll take... we have some luck, so it's worth some % damage. We'll take a submachine gun. We'll take the glasses. Roll again. Yeah, I'll definitely level my revolver. Still not getting Curse. And I'll roll again here. Metal, 3% damage, but the rest of the stats don't matter at all. Okay, another Silver Bullet. Well, we're getting pretty lucky on Silver Bullets here. We'll take a Gentle Alien, and we'll take a Triangle of Power. Triangle of Power, another one of the best possible items for this character, since you can't take hits anyways. I'll roll once as well, just to see if I get 1 more % damage, and then we'll go into this wave, hoping that I don't get a double elite spawn. And stay as far from the elite as possible, and then we should kill it very quickly with our gun build. And we did. And that's the goal, is you want to basically not see the elite. I think we have a darkness wave, wave 19, which is kind of scary. The darkness waves on late waves can be pretty spooky, because you just don't know where the enemies are. And reducing my range with Retromation's hoodie makes darkness waves a lot worse, because normally you just rely on having really long-range guns, and enemies will never get even close to you, so not being able to see them doesn't matter. With the minus 80 range from the hoodie, we have made that a little bit harder. Moving to the right there, just kill the enhanced egg. And then we're just kind of zigzagging through the center of the map here. Sure, I'll take a wolf helmet. I'll recycle a turret. Take 2 range damage from the wheat. I'm going to recycle metal detector because it costs me % damage and we don't care about anything else. Wandering Bot, I think, is going to make the enemies kind of unpredictable, so I'm going to recycle it just because I want to know exactly how fast they're moving. It can be good, and items like that are often better on Nightmare mode and on the Wounded, but for me, I think it's going to throw me off because I'm so used to how enemies move without the Wandering Bot slow. We'll buy those 2 things, we'll re-roll, we'll buy another range damage. Again, I'm going to pass on the knot, even though at this point it's we're not that likely to find something else we want to buy. We'll keep rolling here. I could buy a level 1 submachine gun, but I'd rather my 2 level 2 SMGs, or my 2 level 3 SMGs were more powerful. I'm going to pass on Lumberjack, Shirt Tree, and Starfish going into wave 19. These are just not the type of items that we want at this point. Blindfold we will buy. Small Fish I'll buy as well. It'll help me kill the bosses just a little bit faster. And then I'm going to do 1 more reroll. Save our 55 materials here. You can, of course, look in the pause screen and see when the darkness waves are. I just tend not to, because of laziness, but it does help you plan. Fortunately, in the darkness wave, you don't have to dodge the environmental projectiles, so we can stay over here. And I'm basically just playing in the corner, because it means that enemies are all coming from the same direction. The Pocket Factory is actually pretty nice, because for lighting up the darkness, it gives me some sense of where enemies are coming from, because structures give you a little bit of light radius. And actually having that one spawn there is pretty helpful. It's possible I should have repositioned down to the right where our first Pocket Factory turret spawned. Take a small magazine and a lens, that's all great. We're going to recycle ball and chain, we'll recycle eye surgery. And then you can take 7 crit chance or 8% damage. I think the crit chance will help me kill the bosses faster. And then I'm going to re-roll here. And I am going to roll for dodge at this point. It'll get me to 60 dodge, which, you know, when we get all this dodge without having to spend too much on it, then it's fine. You know, it might buy me 1 extra hit. But more importantly, it gives me a bunch of attack speed. So we're going to roll, and I will just roll until I get dodge here. Which is not happening, but there we go. We got our 12 dodge. We definitely want to kill enemies faster than wisdom, so this would just be a negative for us. I'll take the small fish here. Community support. There shouldn't be too many enemies on the field, so this is probably going to be like 5% attack speed most of the time, but I think it is still better to have it than sort of an average 200 materials that we're going to spend this wave. Though Crystal is probably better. And then I'll roll here. Buy a Gummy Berserker, because range actually matters a lot at this point. Tentacle, I think we can do better than the Tentacle. Head injury's good. I'll re-roll. Re-roll again. And, alright, Pumpkin's pretty good as well. So we'll pick that up. And then we're going to go into the boss waves. And the goal here, of course, is to kill them as fast as possible before they get a chance to put their attacks on us. And there we go. That is the Wounded. That was, of course, my my first playthrough on the newly released beta, newly released patch, though I had played it in the beta many times already. And hopefully that gives you an idea of how to win with this extremely challenging challenge mode character and unlock the Railgun. Now, of course, if you want to unlock Railgun, by default, you can play it on Danger 0. You just have to beat Nightmare Mode with something, and I recommend Doctor with Medical Gun as basically the easiest run in the game, but that will get you access to this really cool weapon. Looking at our items here, we never found an extra tardigrade, which you often will get an extra tardigrade, but I think I only took 2 hits in that entire run, so we didn't need it. 5 gentle aliens, obviously tremendous economy. The 4 treasure maps gave us 14 items. We had a coupon, triple gummy berserker, that's a rare sight in one of my runs. Double small magazine, including an early one, was incredible, of course. The scared sausages, I think they worked out okay with the ice cube, but they were fine. We had 18 bonus damage from the bone dice, and actually didn't even lose any max HP from it, or only lost 2, which is a good roll, not that that matters. The handcuffs were amazing, plus 8 range damage is incredible for no downside at all. Lootworm gave us 500 extra materials because of Sif's Relic, so we got just a ton of value from that. 360 materials from Bag. Candy Bag never summoned an elite, though as you saw we were very well set up for it. 27k damage from the baby elephant, and then we basically just bought damage items for the rest of the run. The Retromations hoodie worked out well, of course. We ended up with 120 attack speed from that. And it also let me build dodge without dodge being a really bad stat for the character. Pearl was plus 6 damage, so that was not that much. And community support was pretty bad in the last wave, but that's fine. Alright, my friends, hope you enjoyed that look at the Wounded, and I wish you luck in your own runs with this very difficult character. As always, of course, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.